Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy, and I would like to have an open conversation or an open talk about my illnesses because I am announcing some new merchandise that has been up for about the past 2 days, since 3 days, when you hear this. So let's start talking about it. This is going to get very serious, and this is going to get kind of depressing. So, if this is not the kind of video that you want to hear or watch, then I would suggest just leaving right now. But for those of you that are staying, hi, and thank you for staying with me. So, alright, so as most of you should already know, I have lupus disease, which is an autoimmune disease where the body makes too many white blood cells, and because the body is making too many white blood cells, it causes the immune system to be confused to what's foreign to the body and what isn't. Therefore, it attacks healthy tissue more so rather than the things that are actually foreign to the body. So this causes a lot of different problems, and each case of lupus is completely different from another case. Like for mine, I can only speak for mine because it's my case. But for my case, I get the joint pain, which causes swelling in all of my joints that are hurting. I am in pain literally 24/7. There's no second of any day that I am not in pain. I have I have constant, well, not constant, but I get headaches or migraines all the time. I have days where I literally cannot get out of bed. I will suddenly get very sick, not like as in a cold, but as in just having to throw up. Uh, that happens mostly during the summer because my body gets overheated way too easily. The cold triggers my lupus, so winter is the worst time for me, especially where I live. Um, I have, or when I do get sick, I get sick for a very long time. Whereas most people, if they get the common cold, they're over it in maybe a couple of days to a week. But if I get it, I'm sick for 2 to 3 weeks. And yeah, I've had to go to a lot of hospitals when I was young. I've had many near death experiences because of it. I have anemia because of it, and it's something that cannot be corrected. So, no matter what I do, I have to be very careful about injuring myself because if I even get a slight paper cut, that paper cut is going to be bleeding for hours. And I do mean hours. Now, my diagnosis, I was not diagnosed until I was 18. And with my diagnosis, they only found it because I had to go through a pre-operation when I was trying to get my hearing corrected. I have 25% hearing loss in my right ear, so that is what we were trying to get corrected. And they found something something weird that was going on with my blood test. They said that one of them was clotting and the other one was not, and so they had to take some more tests. Well, they took 17 vials of blood from me that day. So, needless to say, I passed out when I was going home. Luckily, I was not driving, but I passed out afterwards, and um, they told me that I had anemia, that I cannot take any blood thinners whatsoever. So that eliminates a majority of any kind of medication because most medications are blood thinners, sadly. And that I have to make sure that I stick to this high protein diet, all this other stuff. So yeah, it's not a good thing. But when they finally told me after my surgery that I have lupus, they said that going back to my medical history after finding it, that I have been showing symptoms of lupus since I was 9 years old. So they say that I had lupus since I was 9. So going from 9 years old to 18 years old, that's almost 10 years of me living with lupus without knowing what it was. And that explained a lot of the things that had happened to me in my childhood, as such as all of my major health complications that I've had, all of the hospital visits, all of the near-death experiences. And lupus is also known for basically destroying the major organs, and mine had been destroying my liver. And as most of you should already know, you cannot live without your liver. And I had been on a waiting list for a new liver, like a transplant, for many years because of the imbalances um, in the chemicals or whatever in my liver. And I was finally able to get that done, like earlier in 2017. And yeah, so at least that got done. That put at least another 5 to 10 years on my life. And I mean, it may be only 5 to 10 years, but that's 5 to 10 years that I didn't have before. And going back to, how it explains a lot of the stuff that happened in my childhood, when I was in high school, my legs just stopped working one day. I tried to get out of bed and I couldn't stand up on my own 2 feet, and there was no explanation for it. I was put in a wheelchair, and the doctor told me that I was never going to walk again. But I looked that doctor straight in the face and I said, just watch me. And in about 3 months, I was out of the wheelchair. And after that, I was walking around fine. I could do whatever the heck I wanted to. And I didn't have anything holding me back. It wasn't until last year when everything went down with my ex, my asshole of an ex, that when I came back home to my home state, that I needed to start using a cane. And I'm only 24 years old and I have to use a cane. I know that's probably something that many of you can't even imagine, but people used to look at me and say, you're not sick, you're only faking it, you're just lazy, all this other stuff, because I didn't look sick. The thing about lupus is that it's invisible. Just looking at somebody from the outside, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're sick. That they go through the pain every single day. Many people, I know that in some foreign countries like Germany, that they say that chronic illnesses or autoimmune illnesses aren't even illnesses. They think that it's all in the head, which it's not. For anybody who's going through any sort of chronic illness, or chronic fatigue, or lupus, MS, any of those things, just know that your pain is valid, and that you're not crazy. No matter what people tell you, you're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not faking it, it's not in your head, none of that. Your pain and your illness is valid. So, I guess this brings me to some of the other stuff that I go through. I have PTSD as well. And along with that, I have depression and anxiety. And when I was young, I was diagnosed with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. Which borderline personality disorder is environmentally caused. Sorry, I started crying a little bit. But it's all environmentally caused. So, it causes a person to fear being rejected or being abandoned. I don't have a fear of being rejected. I have a fear of being abandoned. And because of that, I tend to cling to people a lot more than most people do. And I also tend to keep people further away from me than most people do because of the fear of being abandoned. Because in my life, no matter who it is, they always leave. And that, or not just that, but that was a huge part of my BPD. And it wasn't just people like my friends or anything like that, it was my family as well. And my family were the ones that caused my PTSD, and a lot of like exes have caused my PTSD. And I just have a lot of trust issues. I cannot easily trust I can't easily trust anybody anymore. And having my channel, being able to talk to you guys, it's what gets me through every day. And I know that you guys probably hear that a lot from all of the like YouTubers that you watch or whatever, but when I say it, I'm saying it from the point of view of somebody that doesn't really have anything else. So, going back to lupus, there is no cure. And there's not enough research to even know what causes it. Sorry, but there's not enough research to even know what causes it, but they do know that lupus is mostly found in women, and specifically women of color, and even more so than that, but women of African descent. I may be Native American and Japanese, but I am a woman of color, and so I fall into that category of people that are more prone to having it. So, honestly, for any woman out there, or even if you're a teenager, because they say that it's most commonly developed between the ages of 14 or 13 to 50 something. So basically it can develop any freaking time in your life. And to all of my female friends, I always tell them, go get checked for lupus literally at least once a year, because doctors will not check for it unless you specifically ask them to, which is ridiculous. And lupus is also known as the disguised disease because it has so many different symptoms that it is often misdiagnosed for something else. Like when I started getting joint pains when I was 9 years old, I was misdiagnosed with early arthritis, which is ridiculous in itself because I was 9. And how does a 9-year-old have any sort of arthritis? But so if you guys can just take that kind of advice to heart and make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves, make sure that you are able to know exactly what's going on inside and outside of your body, and just stay safe, that kind of thing. Because even though I don't know any of you personally, well, I can't say any of you, but even though I don't know a lot of you personally, each and every single one of you are important to me. And I feel grateful for every single one of you every day. So, this brings me to what this video is promoting. Not only to find a cure and to raise awareness for things like BPD, PTSD, and lupus and depression and anxiety, it's not just about raising awareness. It's about trying to find or pushing I shouldn't say pushing, but encouraging people to do something, to take action, to try and tell, like, our not representatives, but, like, get people more involved. There needs to be a cure. Because so many people die of lupus every single day. Either from organ failure, or because lupus patients are more prone to having cancer, because if they develop any sort of cancerous cells or whatever, the immune system, or their immune system, has absolutely no chance of winning. It has absolutely no chance of even fighting back. There has to be a cure. A cure needs to be found. So, I will be adding a link down below in the description and probably somewhere up on this video where of like my new merchandise that I came out with, which says Lala Legacy's Lupus Warriors. So not only is it to raise awareness for lupus, but with every 50 purchases, I will be donating to the Lupus Foundation of America. And even if you don't want to buy a shirt or a mug or anything like that, please, if you can, go to Lupus Foundation of America. Just go to their website and please donate. And just tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody that you can about lupus, what it is, what it does to people, and that there has to be a cure. A cure needs to be found. Just please spread awareness of this, because so many people are suffering from it. So, that is, I'm just gonna stop before I start, like, bawling again. So, thank you guys so much for listening, and you guys can talk down below in the comments, and I will get back to you about it if you have questions, if you need to know more information about lupus or any of these other, issues that I have brought up. If you want to know more, please just ask in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to accommodate and to answer your questions. So, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video, where it's going to be more either happiness or probably tears because of how far I am in most of my games. Yay! Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.